Thank you guys for joining me today. I know that we are doing a little bit different because we are here celebrating women's success and brilliance. And so what we're going to do is we have Christo from SongDivision, who is going to write a song just for us based on our conversation about how women supported our success. So I want to make this really clear. So it's not about, how we support women. Of course, we'll be there for when women need us. But today is really about celebrating women's brilliance and those women that created opportunity for people like the three of us. So, Christo, what are some of the, how can we help you in terms of building that song?
All right, great. So it's really easy. Writing a song is actually quite simple. So we only need three elements. So the first element will be the chords and the key. Second element is normally the genre, but I only have a guitar with me today, so we don't have to worry about that one. And the third element is lyrics. So the first element, let's get into that. Basically, I'll need, maybe Sanjay, you can help me. Can you pick any letter between A and G?
I'll pick B.
B? No. B is a lovely, lovely chord. I love that one. Maybe Elle, you can give me one. What
I will do
A and G.
E.
I wonder why.
E for
Elevation.
elevator. Great. So our chords for the song will be B and E, which are lovely. So that's perfect.
Christo, we don't have to sing, do we?
I might get you singing and dancing a bit later.
I'm going to regret that.
But if you don't want to, that's fine. I don't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. Okay, so the genre will be just the vibe that I'm going to give it, which will be an acoustic vibe. And so the next thing is lyrics. So obviously I'm going to be listening to your conversation today, but maybe you can give me some really key words that sort of will summarize what you're going to be talking about a bit later on. Maybe you can give me a key word, something that you have been thinking about.
For me, one of the key words, it's also E, just so happens to be nothing to do with L though. It's empathy.
Empathy, fantastic, yeah. Elle, what do you take on yours for us?
For me, it's really, it's not really a keyword, more of a key phrase that I think women mean so much more. Not just a sister, more than a mother. They make such impact in many people's life, men or women.
Mate, amazing. That's great. So, that's a great start for me. That's all I really need now. I'll just sort of sit back in the background and listen to the conversation and get a great little tune going for us.
Thanks, Christo. Thanks for doing this.
No worries. My pleasure.
All right, so Sanjay, today we are here to celebrate women's brilliance, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you, El.
Now tell us, who are some of the women that have created opportunities to path your career and path your success, and what are some of those opportunities presented to you?
Wow. Brilliant opportunity here to talk about this, I think, number one. But I will start by saying that there are a number of amazing women who have stood out for me in my career, but it all started at home, right? With my mom and my sister. My mother was a graduate, a master's graduate, and in her time that was pretty unusual. She was the CEO of the Seth household, ran it like any CEO would, and obviously my sister, the summa cum laude graduate, the business person, the amazing individual overall. She's the one that kind of laid the path for me when it came to what possibilities were. And it didn't make, at no point did I think of her as, because she's a woman, that made it different for me. It was, this is what you can do. And I think that really stood out for me with her and with mom and my sister. So, love you both. From a career perspective, El, I think mine began actually at college. I know that sounds a bit strange, but an individual named Wanda Brandon, who was the managing editor of the Daily Egyptian. This was a 27,000 daily circulation newspaper at the university I was in, Go Salukis. Wanda was amazing as an individual. I was an international student working in the student newsroom, the only international student. She didn't make special, I guess, and necessarily advantageous positions for me. But she made me feel welcome. She included me in everything. And I'm very proud to say that I made it as the first international editor-in-chief. And it was all due to Wanda. I think her support, her mentorship over that period of time that I was in university just really paved the way for my love of communications overall. Returning to Singapore after university, Burson Marstella was the first real job I had. I was a consultant with this PR firm. It was the number one firm at that point. What was impressive though is that I reported into the first female managing director in Asia Pacific, Jackie Cole. Jackie was tough. Jackie was an amazing businesswoman. And you know what? She gave me my break. She chose to take me on, rough, wet behind the ears. I had a great portfolio from the stuff I'd done in school, but she really made the effort to say, okay, we'll take a chance on you. And obviously throughout the time I was there, 5 years that I was with the entity, she saw me grow. The mentorship I received from her, the advice I received from her. And in fact, when I decided to make my first move and leave the organization, she supported that, gave me her blessings and gave me a few tips on what to do next. So, Jackie Cole. Burson Marsteller was also the first platform for me where I recognized that I was going to be in an industry which was predominantly women. There were 34 women in that company and 5 men.
Wow.
I learned so much from them, and I still remember my first day when I pulled out a chair in the boardroom. We had a birthday celebration that was happening. That was my first day, and I offered it to someone, and they said, "I can pull my own chair out, thank you." And I went, "Okay." I'm like just being a gentleman, and they laughed about it. And the individual I'm going to reference is the person that I kind of look to, who helped me along the way. Her name's Jessica Lee. Jessica is now with the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. She's been a career professional at McDonald's, at Netflix last before Alliance. But Jess also really helped me after I left Burson. She got me into a role at ESPN.
I wish I can meet all of them.
Sure.
And just to get an insight of what is it like, for women in business or women in lifestyle, or anything that they want to do. So from your experience, what are some of the lessons learned you feel that is because of women?
Right. So I guess empathy would be what I would say is a standout for me. Lisa Hopkins, my great dear friend who I've known for 15 years, who hired me into Carlton Marketing, then who eventually hired me into BCD, and obviously I took over her role when she returned to New Zealand. She really taught me the understanding ear. Don't just listen, but hear. Put yourself in the shoes of the employee. Put yourself in the shoes of your subordinate, your peer. Put yourself in the shoes of your CEO. What are they thinking? What is it that makes it genuine for you to be able to relate to them? And that was a lesson for me, I guess, overall, whether it was male or female. But I think more so with Lisa, she really pointed out that sometimes women in the workplace are treated unfairly that way, and maybe being more empathetic would help. And I've used that certainly as my guiding light.
I like the point that the example that you gave earlier, that I think Jessica, when you pull the chair, I think it's that really something that I've learned as well throughout the years working with women, and it's something that they own their own credit.
Absolutely.
They will, if they need help, they will ask. So it's not about us saying that they always need support. I mean, everybody needs support one way or another, but I think it's about allowing, just let it happen. If they ask us, absolutely, let's be there. If not, we shouldn't assume that, they need help in that sense, right? So I know that in our previous conversation, you talk a lot about your lovely wife and your daughter and some of the lessons that you learned through work. And now that, as your daughter is growing up, you can see, wow, is that what sort of world she's going to be? Can you share with us a little bit of that insight?
First I have to say that, I'm in awe of my wife and what she does. I think crazily enough, she's also in our industry. She is in the industry of events, and she's brilliant at what she does. I guess to me, with the family dynamics, children obviously look at their mothers more as nurturers, so they tend to, I guess, align a little bit more there. So while I would love to say that we're perfect partners when it comes to the family, I know that she does take on some added responsibilities. With our daughter, who is, 10 going on 9 rather, she will be 10, going on 19, very independent, certainly has an opinion, but just brilliant. I cannot even come close to imagining me being half of what she was. She is rather, when I was her age. It changed my perspective. I looked at things through a different lens. A decade ago when she was born, because I really went, what kind of a world am I preparing for her, right? In the workplace or elsewhere, but for me specifically with my role and what I do in the workplace, you know, all my women peers, colleagues, friends, our daughters, our mothers, our sisters, you know, and surely they deserve that same thought, right? The respect that they're due. Same time, recognize that they are, you know, strong and as able as anyone. And most importantly, as you're right, you know, the credit. When they do something, it is theirs to own. It is theirs. It is for us to celebrate with them, but it's theirs to own.
Can I ask one final question? Sure. Now that you are in a position of, I would say, relatively responsibility and power to some extent, if there is one thing that you could shift that make us a little bit more balanced in that way, that facilitate a fair environment, what would that be?
It's a very good question. You know, I think the shift in the balance comes with opportunities. I think the ability to be fair with any of the opportunities that you have. First, not only offering it, but two, also working with whoever might be interested. And in the case of women, fully supporting that.
Totally, I totally agree with you. I think everything we do is about choice and having that choice.
Amen.
And we are very fortunate to be in positions and to be given the opportunity to do that throughout our career as we work with women and for women. And I think it's a great place to be.
Couldn't agree more.
I think right now it's time. I'm very, very interested to see what Christo has created and is going to put it into the test. So let's have Christo back with us. Okay, so Christo, the pressure is on you. So what do you think about our conversation?
I was actually so moved by it all because obviously I've had a lot of women in my life as well who've shaped my path as well. So it was actually quite easy to write this song because everything you were saying was resonating with me very deeply. I mean, just for myself, you know, my mother is a huge influence. My grandmothers, both of them, huge influences in my life, literally brought me up while my father was away working. So, you know, this was a very, very touching thing for me to do today and write this little song. So, yeah, you know, and also in my career path as well, like, you know, in SongDivision, most of the people in SongDivision are women. You know, it's the same. We're in the same industry, so it's very. I noticed that, and it's a wonderful thing. That's why the industry is so awesome. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
we're very, very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. So yeah, that's what. And I've come up with these words. Your words were actually easy to translate into lyrics. So you know, I've got this awesome little tune for you now.
All right. I'm very glad it's easy for you because for us, we'll be like, oh my God, we'll be sweating bullets if we have to sing or write a song. So over to you.
Well, consider them your lyrics. Anyway, so this is just your words. Okay, here we go. You've shown us the way with kindness and empathy. Brilliance shines completely. Don't just listen. Need to hear words of gold. This advice will never grow old. More than mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives, you strong women have shaped our lives, supporting our success. That's just what you do. So we thought we'd write this song for you. For you. We're your greatest fans, hope that you can see fair and equal is all we need to make our world better now. Strong women, you've shown us how, more than mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives. You strong women have shaped our lives, supporting our success. That's just what you do. So we thought we'd write this song for you.
Amazing. What a brilliant, brilliant song. Look at that. Gee, excited?
While we were talking.